All right, what I do is I get Jed Wilson and get that guy Droopy, get him up on a mountain, do some monitoring mountain climbing with the e-bike. Also do some drone flying, you know, them on patrol with the drone. Do all that and get that out of the way, and get a good walloper on that one. And then what I do next is you know guns, me no guns, and throw in a couple more lines like that, and you be good to go. We like that. We like that kind of stuff. Throw in Where's My Mind with Pixies. By the way, when I was directing action, Sam Shepard, I came up with that before David Fincher did, by the way. Just to let you know. Yeah, you just get up there, get on the mountain, get them a good walloper with that that drone flying around. Say something like, you know guns, me no guns. And get yourself some polar bear scalps. Yeah. You don't stop until you get like 4 or 5 polar bear scalps. I don't know about that, you know. I mean, I was just gonna have that one polar bear because it's the pet of the Alaska Native. Yeah, but you want to get some polar bear scalps. You owe me at least 5 to 6 polar bear scalps. And you no gun and me no gun. Yeah, I don't know. Let me just kind of come up with some other. Just give me a second. All right. Another night. Another night. Delivery. Linda and Kitty coming up. And I had a story called Naked Lunch. And I was a writer. I mixed all the words up. Made my own kind of story. Hung out with Ken Kesey. I did a movie with Matt Dillon. Me and Matt played these drug addicts. And that movie was, you guessed it, Midnight Cowboy. And we bought some drugs for that film. Matt Dillon showed me everything about getting high. William Burroughs had this weird way of talking. So a story is like the print on a t-shirt. You dry it too much and it lifts away, and then you have to iron a new design. I'm going to show you something. Hang on, just give me a second. Oh, okay, hang on for a second. How about that? Never back. All right. See my shirt. Isn't that cool? It's a design. Anyway, Linda got me this shirt. It's a cool shirt. It's kind of like, it's smooth. It's different than other t-shirts. It's got like a really cool. These are being turned off. I still like them though. Now I do want So Jed going to a 7-Eleven, walks in at a certain time, around like 11, and he asks the clerk, "What you throwing out?" And the lady says, "Oh, we're switching over those taquitos." See, it's kind of like that's how he thought. I mean, that's the inner working, so he gets a taquito and stuff. That's how he survived probably in Seattle. They throw these out. They throw the donuts out. They throw every single donut out like 1 o'clock in the morning or something. Different. They do different ones. They do different times at different 7-Elevens. They throw every single one of these out at the end of the night. Droopy probably do the same thing. Sometimes they'll toss his donuts right in the trash can. I regret doing something when I was younger. When I first came back from New York. When I worked at 7-Eleven, when I first came back from New York, I was about 27 years old or so. We would throw the donuts out, but I get so hungry because I was like 140 pounds or 145 pounds. I go into the trash can and remove those donuts from those clear bags and put them in another bag. And then I take them home, I eat something, I get sick. So what I started doing is throwing the donuts in this little bag and pouring a little bleach on them so I wouldn't go back and try to grab those donuts. I felt bad about doing that. I mean, they were bad donuts anyway, you know. My dad started his whole business by getting certain contracts with trash cans to dig through them to find silver and gold, like x-rays and stuff like that. Computer parts had silver in them. Turned that and refined it into precious metal and sold jewelry. Made $1 million in the 1980s. About the time when Beverly Hills Cops came out. Man, those bags are noisy. About the time Beverly Hills Cop came out, Eddie Murphy. My dad was a millionaire, drove a river area. We went from living in a trailer on my grandparents' property to living in the house to living in a mansion. Well, it was about the size of a mansion. Later on, it burned down. He had to become a consultant. I was one of the first millionaires of South Lake, which is where all the millionaires are now. It wasn't South Lake back then. It was like between Keller and Roanoke, Texas. We were right on the border of Roanoke. Roanoke is a cool area. I was picked on when I went to Keller. Junior high, I was beat up so bad that my eyes swelled shut. My dad had a call. The people's name were Beavers. They were called the Beavers. His dad taught him to box, and he just, like, I thought I was Sylvester Stallone going, "Come on," bam, I kept getting hit. My eyes swelled shut. My dad called, and I said, "Well, we're Christians. We don't believe in fighting like that," and, you know, because he didn't want him to do it again to me. And then my dad started teaching me to pick up this weight with my forearms, get my forearms strong, pick this weight up. And it was like on a string. It was a weight on a string. And I did that over and over again in front of him. My dad said, because there was a guy, it wasn't Beavers that was his fault. It wasn't him. There was another guy that was causing us to fight. He's passed away now. He was a free bleeder. He was causing people to fight. He had hemophilia. He'd get so mad and angry, he would make other people fight in front of him because he couldn't fight because he'd bleed to death. But my dad wanted me to grab him by the hair and sit there and pull him until I wore him out because he was causing so much trouble at school. I never did, though. Everyone was afraid to hit him because he'd bleed to death. The ambulance was always at the school when he was in sports. And he had some kind of problem where he had to see blood. I mean, he wanted people to fight. I mean, really fight. So the first fight that he managed me in was right over by the lunchroom cafeteria. This guy that had a wart on his thumb right there. You know, his hands, he would show people the wart sometimes. I don't remember what I did. I just grabbed him in the headlock, bam, 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 a couple of times. Because he told me to. He said, "Hey, this guy thinks you're a wimp." So I grabbed him really quick, and it was over that quick. I think he bled out of the nose because Neely wanted to see blood. Now, the other fight happened. One of our friends, who was this dorky guy, well, he wore this down jacket. He put this ham and cheese in the jacket. So he'd bring over like 4 or 5 ham and cheeses and hand them out to everybody. They were like ham and cheese croissants that had melted, cheese on it. They were croissants. And I ate like 2 of them or something, you know, in front of everybody, which I guess made them mad or something. And Neely came over and said, hey, Ryan, he thinks you're a, you know, P-U-S-S-Y, you know. He thinks you're a sissy and all this stuff. You gonna fight him? You gonna fight him? Everyone's looking around. You gonna fight him? I didn't know how tough he was. So I got out there. Everyone in the cafeteria, all the guys, they all crowded around. And it was me, one pop, and then me going into him and getting popped over and over and over again until finally he knocked me down. And the biggest guy in the school, Jeff Cheese, had to break us up. His name was Jeff Keys. He was like, he could bench like 250 pounds in like junior high. And he pulled him off of me and said, the fight's over. You know, my eye was swollen shut. I looked at it in the rearview mirror over there in the side mirror. I looked at it and they said, hey, you should go look at your eye. And I looked at my eye. It was that way for like 2 or 3 days. Then he had, Ryan, who fought me, his last name was Beavers, he had to go to the hospital because his hand was broken. Later I'd break this hand on a wall. As hard as I can against this stud. It's like a wood stud. Someone's changed it into a tuxedo outfit. Weirdest thing at 7-Eleven is so weird. She actually has a tuxedo outfit. She's wearing a tuxedo. Alright. Maybe she's part of Fight Club. First rule of Fight Club. You know what it is. It's part of Fight Club. There's a rule. Never talk about it. So my professor in college who taught us how to act, he taught us Uta-Hagen style of acting for the stage. He went to school with Brad Pitt, I believe in Missouri. Brad Pitt got in a car accident, supposedly. Then he disappeared. All of a sudden, they go to the movies, watch Thelma and Louise. There's Brad Pitt up on the silver screen. This is back when they were using 35mm too, and it was a big deal. It was a big deal getting a movie back then. Supposedly, he went over there, got something to eat at McDonald's, met some strippers. I think he did some modeling, and he managed these strippers, supposedly. He'd pick up their bras and stuff. Then he got an extra work job, and he tried to throw in a line to get that SAG card really quick. I might have moved up. I don't know. Who knows, man? I got hit by a motorcycle on this side, and a Camaro in Calabasas, leaving Midsummer Night's Dream rehearsal. That made me think. Then I had a lot of auditions, tons of auditions all the time. And then I got picked up. I got arrested for working for the Police and Sheriff Support Fund out in Long Beach, California. Their branch was out in Los Angeles, and the guy told me, listen, doesn't matter how many people you call. If you take cash, you want one of these. He showed me this card. He said, this is a card that allows you to take cash. Other than that, you get arrested. Or you get in some trouble, is what he said. So I'm sitting there driving back from an audition, probably a class with Diane Salinger. And I just bought my first cell phone ever. Didn't have one until then. This was like 2001-ish. I think it was 2000. Yeah, it was 2001. The very beginning parts of 2001. And on my answer machine in Long Beach was I left my cell phone number. So I get this phone call while I'm driving. Hey, I'd like to place an ad in the Police and Sheriff Support Fund. I'm out Long Beach, Acapulco Lounge. That place is closed now, by the way. Well, I show up. This bartender comes around the side of the bartender. It's very LA confidential. And this is in Long Beach, right there by the shore. It's called the Acapulco Lounge. It's closed, but they have archive on it. He comes out and says, okay, well, how much is it? And I already told him, it's $250 for half a space. It's $500, for a full space or something like that. Well, I'd like to do $500. Here's my business card. Here's 100, 200, 20, 40, 60, 70, 89, or 220. Yeah, there's 100, 20, 40, 60, 80. He's like giving me all these 20, 40, 60, 82, 20, 40, 60, 3, and all that stuff. So he gets to 500. And he starts, I was like, maybe I shouldn't take this. I said, well, my manager said I can't take cash. If I would have taken that cash, there was nothing he could have done. And he goes, well, I want to place an ad. And I said, well, okay, I think I know what I can do. Now, he told me I can only take check, because if they wrote me a check, there was nothing they could do to me. It was just a check. It had to be the cash. So I go, what can I do? Blah, 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 blah. Now, in today's society, if you're a waiter, and things like that, or you work in some type of industry that deals with cash and stuff, that's just a common knowledge. But this has to do with telemarketing. So it was like a telemarketing thing. So there was probably some stuff. I used to think they were like major corrupt, but it had to do with telemarketing. So I don't know all the laws. I'm not a lawyer. That's what I should have told him. I said, look, it's going to have to be check. And he's like, no, well, we got cash. You take the cash, take it or leave it. I think he actually said that. So I'll tell you what. I'm going to take it to the bank and turn it into a cashier's check. And then I'll give that to my manager, and that should work out. I figured that out. Then later on, I become a banker. I take the cash, I walk out. There's a German Shepherd standing there with a guy with a K9 unit jacket. They take me in for 17 hours. I was doing a play out in Santa Ana called House Divided with Drake Dormus and Eric Soderbergh. Big old actor in Hollywood, and the director is a big old director, or used to be. He hadn't done anything in 5 years. He did Like Crazy with Anton Yelchin. He was the youngest guy to get an AFI. And so, like, all this was happening. And then, I thought, well, man, I'll just get my MFA. I'll get my MFA, and I'll be like a professor. So I went off to Actor Studio Drama School, New School. I've been here for more than 20 years. That's like my opening story all the time. Okay, this one's for skinny. There we go. She didn't get a lot of wet food. So. All right. Now it's time to get our shoes on so we can get Skinny Midnight some food. And there is Amy the Witch. Nuh-uh. That is the wrong area. Now drop down. Kitty.